Well, we're here at the Egyptian Embassy, waiting for some people to show up. Protest is scheduled for 12 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, so we're just going to sit here and wait. This is Freeman Sullivan. Hopefully, my intel was correct. I was at the last demonstration this past Thursday, and one of the Egyptian American exile groups said that they were going to have a demonstration here at 12 noon. So whether they do or not remains to be seen, but I'll stick around for a few minutes to see what happens. At any rate, we're down here at the Egyptian Embassy on International Court. If you're in the area, do stop by and join us at Freeman Sullivan on the web. So we're here and we're going to get started here, I guess, at 12 if some people show up. Last time was mostly Code Pink, not a lot of Egyptians, but we did hear one lady give an impassioned speech, which I highlighted. If you go to the Ustream, my Ustream channel, check it out. Her words were very impassioned. She was talking about people being executed in the hospital by the security forces after the demonstrations at Tahrir Square. Now, if this is true, this is a very serious human rights violation. We believe that there's a military coup that has occurred in Egypt, and we're asking that President Obama and Secretary Kerry stand up to the Egyptian regime and stop aid to the Egypt, military aid, because the military aid is what's being used to kill civilians here and is responsible for the death sentences being handed out for the 529. At any rate, that's why we're here. So please stand by, and the demonstration should be starting here at any time, although I don't see anybody here yet. Hopefully my intel is good. I was here at the demonstration when they called for it, so you can go back through the stream and check it. It's a little bit rainy outside, a little damp, but at least Old Man Winter's gone, so we don't at least have to contend with the cold. We do have the umbrella up because it is raining out here. I'm going to be here until about 12:15. I'm not going to stay much longer because it is raining outside. Hopefully my intel was correct. I was at the demonstration and they called for it on Saturday at 12 noon. So here I am, sitting like a fool out in the rain by UDC. Anyway, at least it's not cold out this morning. For those of you just joining us, we're down here at the Egyptian Embassy in the rain, waiting for some people to show up that are here for a demonstration at the Egyptian Embassy here in Washington, D.C. There's a building right there. We're waiting for some people to show up. I was informed about this at the last demonstration when Code Pink was here. I believe Code Pink won't be here today, but we're out here anyway to see what happens and see if anybody shows up. I don't even know if it was called because of the weather. I'm just going by first-hand information that I heard when I was here at the last demonstration that there was supposed to be a protest today. So there you have it. Always got to make it hard on disabled people. Anyway, we're hoping some people show up at 12, which was the time that the protest was scheduled for. Hey, how you doing this morning?
Are you demonstrating?
Yeah, I'm here for the demonstration, yes.
Okay, we'll be in the front.
Yeah, I'm just
Be
waiting for
glad
some
you
more
can
people to
join
show
us.
up. I'll be around. My name's Clark.
My name is Ibrahim.
Nice to meet you, Abram.
Oh, it's a shame what's happening in that country.
No doubt.
It's
No
a
doubt.
mess. The question is, how could 500 people kill one person?
Your guess is as good as
How,
mine.
now, how you do? I mean, assume to be wild. The only thing I can find, if ever I get a small rock and go around in turn, and they keep throwing it until they find he's dead.
Right. Yeah, they didn't even bother to say it was a conspiracy or anything.
Yeah.
So, and it was a kangaroo court of a trial.
Yeah, and no, pardon me?
Kangaroo court.
Oh yeah, kangaroo court for sure. And the thing is, they cannot blame it on a stupid judge or bad judge, because all they have to do is say, well, this judge is wrong, or this we don't agree with him, or the questioner. Okay, they can say something, but I bet they are giving a promotion.
Yep.
Hmm. Okay,
All right.
I
Well, I'll
gotta
be
say
over in a minute.
somebody's waiting for me.
Okay. Yeah. Good. We've got some more people showing up. I was wondering what's going on. So yes, we do. There is a demonstration this morning. So we'll get started here in a little bit. Aha. Good morning, Occupy Carlisle. Yeah. Yeah. It's all good. Thanks, sir. Occupy Carlisle. Appreciate it. Alrighty. I'm gonna walk on over to the front here. Trying to deal with an umbrella and the camera at the same time is a real. There we go. So let's go take a walk over to the entrance. The other entrance, I might add. We're down here at the Egyptian Embassy here in the International Court, here on the other side of UDC. There we go. So for those of you who just joined us, we're down here at the Egyptian Embassy on International Court here in Washington, D.C. on Saturday. Protest is scheduled to start at 12 noon, and the protest is about the 529 people that were sentenced to death for the alleged murder of a police officer, which basically we feel these are bunk charges, have been they're trumped up charges. The trial in the court was a kangaroo court, and these people were sentenced unjustly. So we're out here to protest that. That's why our live stream is about. Thank you for joining us. Glad to have you here.
Yesterday, with the demonstration everywhere against him, the demonstration team supported him with one in Cairo, about 50 people, and one in Alexandria with the 2,300. Supporter of him, he really doesn't have that support. He has the media, because he's a killer. Morsi also has a chance. So, but the difference is still. No. He do it for the movie. Here. And that's, no, it's down there. And the only two have the barricade around.
Gaza Strip.
That has to go to that.
Please stand by. We're getting ready to have a demonstration here. It should have started at noon. We're a little late getting started.
Now there's a particular experiment going on where it turns out the IMF is behind a lot of what's happening in Ukraine. And so now the U.S. wants to use this national hub to promote gas export, gas fracking. And it's not too far, just 80 miles from here is a place called Muskie in southern Maryland. Tulsa, where they have an old gas export terminal that's no longer used. They want to use it to export frack gas. They're going to Europeans because fracking too. Europeans use it to make drinking water on fire.
Yeah.
Because it has gas in it.
Oh, okay.
We're trying to work with it. In fact, we're going to hold it down, inside it. And it's pressurized. 10,000 psi. Frack, we don't control where they go. Maybe they just want to. That's how they're getting all this gas. So gas here costs more than what it costs in the rest of the world. They want to export. They want to compress the LNG into the actual export. And they use it to train.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be here today.
They chumped out.
Well, they said they weren't working on weekends.
What?
They said that they weren't going to be working on the weekend. Right?
Well, I guess for the NGO money and all that.
I know Medea's out of town. She's in Madison.
Oh, because otherwise she'd be here because, she's got a score to settle. They beat her up, she needs to get some payback for that, and this would be a good place to get it.
Oh, no doubt. Good. We got more and more people that are finally showing up here. For those of you just joining us, please stand by. We're getting ready to start with the demonstration here in a little bit. We're down here at the Egyptian Embassy on International Court in Washington, D.C. This is your live streamer at Freeman Sullivan. Glad you could join us.
I made a short video for 1.5 minutes of your clips in the last one. I couldn't get here because my mother had an emergency.
Oh, well, the one lady that was speaking, she was really good.
I wasn't
That
able to
lady there.
download all of it because of the file size.
Yeah, well, I don't, it's
Yeah, that's how a live video works.
it gets huge.
Yeah.
I usually try to stop them after 2 hours.
I pulled about 40 megabytes of it and pulled some selected clips.
Oh yeah, feel free. So yeah, I recognize the guy in the yellow hoodie. He's definitely part of the crew. He spoke at the last event. So we're going to get started here in a little bit, folks. It's light rain outside. It's fairly warm for DC, considering we just chased old man Winter away yesterday. He's not coming back.
It's not snowing.
Right? It's not snowing. There was still some snow on the ground over here as I was walking by. I noticed.
In my experience, that snowing is actually less of an impediment to operations than raining. It's actually more effective at driving away potential opponents who might be watching you. But it actually has less impact on your own ability to operate.
Except for the cold hay.
Yeah. For a lot of covert stuff, fall weather is excellent.
Right.
It's like there's a scene in one of the Tom Clancy's where the guy's gonna be swimming up a river with a rebreather. No, he doesn't have a rebreather. It's in Vietnam where we don't have rebreathers yet. But he's got to do his covert entry up a river. The sub-commander reports it's raining buckets upstairs. He's like, and he's like, and I intend to use it. He's like, what do you mean? It's like, it'll cover up my bubble track.
That's true, yeah.
It's like, to think about you're putting up, let's say you're wheat pasting, and maybe your paste wants to dry too fast. But this rain will get that paste nice and thoroughly saturating everything. And at the same time, people are much less likely to be watching, and they're much less likely to react because their heads are going to be down.
Right.
This is a good day for wheat pasting. If it rains more, it'll be a better day for wheat pasting. As long as it doesn't rain so much that it washes the paste off, that's just a matter of figuring out where you're going to put your posters. There's lots of places that'll get just that little bit, just enough to really glue them down great. You can protect yourself, but other people's heads are going to be down. They're not going to be watching. There's a reason that commando units just love rain, just love fog, and just love early AM.
And the police, for that matter.
Yeah, but
Barry got arrested today.
What?
Barry got arrested today.
For what?
I have no idea. He was down at the Peace Vigil, and they took him away.
At the vigil with no warning?
Yeah.
What, like they got some kind of warrant or bullshit?
I don't think he had a warrant. I think he was giving the Parks Police a hard time. I'm not real sure about what happened.
Were they able to take the vigil too, or was there a backup person?
I came down there just in time.
Oh, fuck. I have to report that. Let me take some notes on that.
Yeah, Barry Knight, KNIGHT,
Let me fire this up for
was
audio
arrested
mode.
down at the Peace Vigil today.
Was he bottom lining the vigil at that time?
Yeah.
Okay, Barry Knight was arrested at the Peace Park Vigil today for unknown reasons. There does not appear to have been a warrant. And apparently he was arrested just for talking to people, just for talking to the park police about things they don't want to talk about. And that's just some basic notes of that.
More or less, yeah.
I always know if I have a video clip with the shutter shut, I know that's notes.
Okay. And evidently they had warned Connie, and she didn't pass on any of the information to anybody.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, well, that's the reason why he got arrested, I'm
That
pretty
I
sure.
can't publish because that makes Connie responsible.
Yeah, well, she is responsible.
Yeah, but in her condition, she may not be able to act on that
Well,
responsibility.
she needs to learn in her condition to let us know what the police are saying, because this is the second time that this has happened. Okay, now Barry goes to jail. Okay, what's going to happen the next time? You know,
She could
well, I
lose
plan on reading her
supporters
the
if she
riot
doesn't
act a
get
little
it.
bit later on today. Like, come on, Connie, you got to let us know when the police
It's a
come.
good way to end up vigiling 24/7
Yeah, by herself. Yeah,
because their supporters are in jail.
yeah. So I'm not down with that. Sorry, Connie, but you got to hang out down at the Peace Vigil and let us know what's going on with the police.
What exactly had they warned?
Oh, I don't know. That's what I'm wondering, because they were very. Oh, thanks for. We're on the Activist World News Network. Um, that's what I like to know.
You know how you get to be a part cop? If you're a regular cop, police is something else. You get a bullet in the brain, you get a wooden head made, and become a park police officer.
Usually they're mostly retired military.
Well, they didn't know anything about not stirring up insurgencies in other countries, and apparently they don't know much about not stirring up trouble here.
Right.
They don't keep the peace, they make the fighting. I remember the time I had to show up at Occupy wearing a taser-proof vest after they tasered Lash.
Oh yeah.
It was the big day of the deadline, and there was all that press. At least I was actually figuring they might be dumb enough to attack right into the teeth of all that press, but they weren't that stupid.
No, they waited until the press got tired and went home.
But I was wearing a taser-proof vest made out of window screening between this coat and a sweater underneath, which padded out, any edges from the screen. I had the screening duct taped, but that never worked perfectly. But it's electrically conductive. Tasers don't work through it.
How you doing this morning?
It was code pink.
No, I'm a live streamer. A live streamer. Covering. We're broadcasting out on the internet all around the world.
Oh,
So we're covering
both
out.
of you.
Yeah, we're covering the event here.
Media.
Right.
That's the real media of the future,
That's
of
it.
the present and the future.
And the president. And the
Nobody
future.
reads the junk,
No,
the other junk anymore.
no, and the lens doesn't lie.
Yeah.
Right.
There are ways to lie with recorded video.
Yeah, it was recorded video, but not live stream.
But at least the accessibility is for those who want to say the truth is there.
Right.
But the old media, you have no accessibility.
No. Now people can actually talk to me when I'm online here, doing it. Right. So if anybody's watching and has any questions they want to ask, just log on to the chat, and I'll be happy to answer all your questions. Right. So get a little better turnout. It was mostly Code Pink the last time because it was during the week.
Yes.
So this time there's more Egyptian, more people from the Egyptian
Hopefully,
community.
the rain would not deter most people.
Okay, good. Well, it didn't deter me. Here I am.
Good for you.
All right. Come rain, come
What's your
snow.
organization again?
I'm a freelance live streamer, Freeman Sullivan. I'm with an organization called GlobalRevolution.tv and a few other live stream organizations.
That's too much information for me to absorb.
Okay, there you go. But I've been an activist for 40 years. So what happens when I had a friend of mine named Ahmed Halal, I guess his last name. He was one of the organizers of the Tahrir Square, and he actually had to leave the country. And he finally was able to get political asylum
When did you have to leave?
last year, about a year and a half
After
ago.
the coup?
Yeah, because he was, they tried to murder him and he was threatened with death. So he was able to get political asylum here in the United States. So, and I tweeted him the other day and he's living in San Francisco now. So,
Well, you can be as effective here.
Right. Well, hopefully they're doing something in San Francisco too. Right, because I know they have a consulate in San Francisco.
If we can reach out to the Americans, Egypt needs America.
Well, we need to cut out that aid to the military.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that's got to go.
Obama and his administration say that, well, we don't want to lose leverage and Egypt is a pivotal country for us. Well, believe me, Egypt needs it. They have all the leverage.
America, the Jews are always a bad thing.
But because those people in Egypt are all cowards. Those cool people, they are cowards.
Anybody that's willing to tie nooses.
Well, anybody that shoots unarmed demonstrators, in my book, is a coward. Right.
Totally unfit.
So that's why I'm out here. In case anything happens, I'll have a record of it. Right. I'm on your side, so we'll make sure we get all the
What's your
pictures taken. My name's Clark. It's nice to meet
My name
you.
is Amin.
Amin? Nice to meet you. You'll see me around all over town. I try to go to all the important demonstrations to cover them. That's what I came here for. I live out in San Francisco.
You came from San
Well,
Francisco.
I came to DC to live stream, so covering all the events that I can cover and represent for the people of California. So,
It's amazing that 500 people sentenced to death.
all right. Yeah, tell us a little more about
Moved
that.
the whole world. But 7,000 people killed. The world didn't hear about that.
Right.
Well, I can tell you why. Is that I would rather be killed fighting in a battle on the street than be held in jail and executed by the government. Because of that, I would not surrender under those circumstances.
Well, they were executing people in the hospitals as well.
That's
People
no
that were getting
surprise.
injured at demonstrations, they would go into the
Even
hospital.
here, if you get a bullet from a cop right here in this city, you don't dare go to the hospital because they'll be looking. You have to either be able to patch it up yourself or know somebody that can. You cannot go to the hospital if you're shot by the police, even in this country.
Even if it's by mistake.
Even if it's by well, the only way you'd be able, if the cops were shooting at somebody else and you were behind them, you could probably get away with it. Because in that case, you could be giving testimony against them. But if you're
Skip.
shot by police during a protest or in a battle or anything like that on the street at night, forget about it. And since I would rather die than go to their jails, I wouldn't be showing up at that hospital. I don't care where I don't care if I got a round in the belly. I ain't going where they're looking.
Yep, because this country can be just as bad.
Well, we have 1 million prisoners.
George Bush, by the way,
More than anywhere.
More-
The statistics are staggering.
George Bush executed almost exactly as many people as Saddam Hussein was hanged for executing. 166.
Exactly.
Almost within 5. Let's put it that way. Saddam executed a little over 160 people after an attempt on his life. George Bush, as governor of Texas, executed within 5 of that number of people. Saddam was hanged. And afterwards, the city paper ran a full-page ad showing the hanging scene. As if war criminals get hanged in huge block letters, but everything underneath was about George Bush.
Well, he's a war
Full page
criminal
in the
now.
city paper.
He can't leave the United States.
No, he can't. There's warrant. You know how many warrants there are on people?
There's a
like
warrant
that?
out for George Bush. There's a warrant out for Henry Kissinger, too.
Kissinger's wanted in 5 countries for war crimes.
Warned by who?
I know Germany, EU countries want to arrest Bush.
I
getting him
they've
involved in a war without
arrested Kissinger in
justification.
Vietnam and Cambodia.
Right, yeah.
If he steps down, he will.
If he steps in
can
Europe.
Be, questioned.
Yeah, that's right.
Gordon
They can arrest
Weston's
him.
in jail.
He's a regular citizen now. Just because you're president doesn't give you immunity to being arrested.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Not in
other
countries in
countries.
which you're not president.
But they wouldn't dare do it.
They have a
Or he
warrant-
wouldn't dare go
They have a
there.
warrant for his arrest. He wouldn't dare go there.
It'd be like Sisi
Right.
setting foot in Persia or Afghanistan. Wouldn't last long.
Well, he wouldn't last long now in many countries. Many, believe it or not, African countries are the only countries that are denouncing the coup.
Because they've had experience with
They
it.
have
I'm
they have suffered so much.
I'm surprised that Latin American countries aren't weighing in on this. They've had a lot of
No,
trouble.
they are.
too.
They are Brazil.
I thought so.
Brazil. Dilma Rousseff refuses to recognize Sisi, and she in every speech she's very outspoken against it.
And last
The
summer,
others don't have much leverage.
Last summer,
except Venezuela. Venezuela came up also against.
Yeah.
against it.
Well, that would make sense with Venezuela. Because
Venezuela
Venezuela,
has
they've been trying to
carries leverage.
overthrow Maduro now for the last year. They've been unsuccessful.
Yeah,
thus far.
Venezuela is facing a coup threat.
There
Right.
is a coup underway.
An attempted coup. They may not be successful.
Like in Turkey right now, there is a coup underway.
Yeah, Turkey's pretty bad right now.
The whole-
Banning Twitter. How ridiculous.
Not successfully.
How ridiculous. Yeah, unsuccessfully, I might add. You know, that's what's good about being a live streamer and tweeting, and they can't stop us, no matter how hard they
I
try.
knew the coup had to be bad news, no matter what I thought of some of the other Muslim Brotherhood politics, was because of what I'd seen of coups in Central America. I had to denounce that coup from day one because of that.
But everything you hear about Muslim Brotherhood is just stereotype.
Right.
Believe me. I mean, just if people keep repeating everything and they have not given themselves the chance to read the constitution they came with.
What I think is, even if it all was true,
Yeah, they don't read
the
the.
military coup was still going to be a bad thing. Even
of
if
course.
everything they were saying was true, it wouldn't matter because we know what comes from military coups.
But people are very defensive. Oh, I don't support what they say. Well, could you please go and read what they did?
Yeah, well, you don't go shooting. It doesn't matter whether or not you agree with them. You don't go killing people because of their political
Let me
beliefs.
put it this way.
Right.
If there had been a military coup in this country against George W. Bush because of how he treated the military during his war in Iraq, probably that would have put the fundamentalist Christians and white racists who are so strong in the American military into power. The biggest beneficiaries would have been the Minute Klan, the Klan, the Nazis, and those kind of organizations, and the Ron Paul people. That's who would have gotten power from a military coup in this country. Even if it was against Bush, even over the Iraq War. If you look at how many crusaders, outright fundamentalist Christian crusaders, are high up in the American military.
Is it?
Yes, there are. There have been guys that were distributing Bibles in Afghanistan during the war there, that kind of stuff. Very high ranking, and really, that's one of the reasons there's been so much resistance to allowing gay men to serve in the U.S. military is all those fundamentalist Christians in high positions. A coup would put them in power.
Definitely watch out for those folks. They're definitely not to be trusted.
Well, my analysis of the Iraq War and the Afghan War is to empower the right wing. And the empowering, you see, if you are a gang, do you go and raid a small house or do you raid a big house? So
The biggest house you think you
the
can
biggest
take
house you
down.
can take, and the biggest house you can raid is the U.S. Treasury. So by going to war and then offering the contractors 300,000, the smallest country, the least senior contractor is getting $300,000 per year. Right?
Right.
Now, can you imagine what the managers are getting? So
And yet they were cutting their, militarily they were cutting their own throats.
they have raided the U.S. Treasury.
They also
$1 trillion?
For a war nobody wanted.
$1 trillion?
Right.
and from their
Oh
own
my God.
from their own perspective, they made a bad strategic mistake because they drove one of their enemies, Iraq, closer to another and more powerful enemy of theirs, Persia. That Persia is the biggest winner of the Iraq War, also a known and sworn enemy of the people who made the Iraq War. Now, they were threatened by it themselves, but it was clear that they were 3 times larger.
But I think that the U.S. probably thought this might happen, but it was not a big threat
they
because
underestimated the insurgents.
no, Iran is not a threat. Iran is a perceived threat.
Still a competitor and a rival for power.
Not really. This is what many people think. You see, they always need an enemy. So at some point they served the
Right.
purpose.
They make an enemy.
But the mullahs, they are very much in tune with George Bush and his people. Same mentality. Believe me.
Sad.
They control their people the same thing the right wing controlling many people in this country.
Well, I will say one thing: if you wanted to deal with all the war criminals in this country, you'd have to tie a lot more than 529 nooses. I used to go rock climbing, and you know what? I still don't have enough rope for all those bastards.
So,
Yeah, for those of you just joining us, we're out here at the Egyptian Embassy on International
well,
Court
usually
in
they
Washington,
don't like
D.C.
to block the entrance, but on a working day, so
Yeah.
on a
Yeah, they were a little
on a holiday, nobody cares about it.
they were a little touchy about that the other day when we were here.
Yeah.
Stay out of the driveway.
Yeah, like is anybody gonna pull up?
They're lucky they didn't have. Given Code Pink Sister, they're lucky they didn't have a lockdown in the driveway. I could just see it. You've got 3 500-pound barrels with 2 members of Code Pink locked between them. We had a barrel lockdown in this city last year in the lobby of a TD Bank. TD Bank is the biggest investor in TransCanada and the tar sands, Keystone XL tar sands pipeline. So the folks got into a TD Bank. They brought in a big heavy concrete barrel. They locked down to that. They had the barrel. They had signs. You know what the cops did? When they showed up, they hung white sheets in all the window to hide what they were doing inside. I don't know what it is about cops and white sheets in this town.
Well, that's what the live stream is for, because they can't hide from us. They can put up all the white sheets they want, but they can't stop me from taking pictures.
Yes.
So,
Well, it seems the rain deterred many people.
yeah, got a small crowd. But at least the people showed up. It's better than nothing. It's always good.
Sisi must be an idiot to do these death sentences. Doesn't he understand that executing people for protest will tell people that if you're holding a sign, you're taking as much risk as you would if you were holding a gun, and as a result there will be insurgency instead of protest?
No, he is doing it just before being elected president. And when he becomes president, the scenario is going to be, okay, I forgive all of those people. He's the lawgiver,
But you
so
can't.
he will forgive them.
That won't work after executions. Or does he plan on becoming elected prior to the first execution?
Yeah, it should be next month. The election is next month.
But the people who he sentences won't forget, and nor will their families forget, nor will their friends forget. It's like, if I was Mr. Sisi, what I'd worry about with this kind of behavior would be getting into a situation like the president of Iraq, where you can't even cross the street because you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, the U.S. troops have been out of Baghdad for years, but there's still a very violent place. I mean, almost every day there's a car bomb in there, it seems like.
Well, the U.S. invasion has uncovered the rifts in the society, because the society has been. You see, the Iraq is a British
It's an artificial
creation.
country.
Is a British, exactly. You see, a more logical countries would be Greater Syria, extending from the Mediterranean up to the Euphrates. That would be a very, very natural country because people are homogeneous there. And then you have Kurdistan, which extends over many countries.
I'm more familiar with Kurdistan.
Yeah, it extends. It's eastern Turkey, northern Iraq, northwestern Iran. These are all homogeneous, speaking the same language, they are same ethnic group, and so on.
So you're basically looking at part of Syria, part of Kurdistan, and part of Persia,
Yes.
with a border drawn around them by the Brits.
Everything was done by Brits, and they divided the people. For example, Egypt is again an artificial country. But the only thing that's keeping Egypt together is that the majority of the population is really around the Nile. So the whole population is concentrated there.
I mean, the traditional Egyptian society was based on the Nile's flood patterns.
Yeah.
If you went too far from the Nile, you were out of the agricultural zone.
So part of Western Egypt really does not belong to Egypt, it belongs to Libya. It's a natural extension of all the tribes there, and the Bedouins.
So a map of Egypt should look like a map of the Nile.
Yeah, well,
In ancient times, as I recall, they had an upper kingdom and a lower kingdom, which were based on.
the other thing that keep the people together, exactly what's being fought today, which is Islam. These people, Islam is much stronger binding force for these people than all ethnicities. So right now that the Islam is becoming, for the intelligentsia and the middle class in the Arab world, is becoming reactionary and so on, they are dismantling their countries because it was a very powerful binding force.
And what about the sectarian mess that drives a lot of the violence in Iraq?
Islam would bring them together. Because right now everybody look at himself as an ethnicity. I'm in a Shia, it's an ethnicity. You don't look at it as a religious. Most of the people who do this violence are not religious
That sounds
people.
like Northern Ireland, actually. In Northern Ireland, the Catholics and Protestants have very similar beliefs about what their religion tells them to do, even though they have different beliefs about the structure
Yeah,
of the
it's
church.
an ethnicity.
However, you can tell an Irish Catholic from an Irish Protestant neighborhood from an aircraft, because the Protestant neighborhoods are the rich neighborhoods. The Protestants, as a marker, actually, are descended from Scottish people who were driven from Scotland by the British and promised the states in Ireland if they settled there in a chain gentrification process, or a chain invasion in this case. They are the settler descendants, so they have all the property. And some folks from the Irish Republican Army that came to the United States during the 1960s said, well, we got more in common with the Black Panthers than anybody else. They looked at African American neighborhoods and white neighborhoods in this country like, this is like back home. And they had to hide this from a lot of wealthy donors in Irish. You had conservative Irish Americans giving money to the IRA in pubs, didn't realize that, this is very much like the Black Panthers. So a lot of them hated it. But it was successful. They fought the Brits to the table. They got the Good Friday peace deal.
But history, you see, history from the time of the Romans have shown that the slaves, although they did many revolts, but they failed. And this is exactly what happened in Egypt in 2011. It's the slaves, the underdogs, the poor, the disenchanted, those people who have been exploited, they rebelled. But they don't have the power. They don't have the army in their hands. They don't have the wealth. All the billionaires of Egypt pooled all of their resources in the last 3 years. Sawiris and Izz and all of those billionaires, each one pledged portion of my wealth, 2-3 billion. Everyone put billions of dollars to overthrow that revolution.
I would argue a slave revolt by people who prefer death to slavery and exacts a toll in blood from the enemy for killing them, as Spartacus did, is not a failure.
But you don't have the resources. You see, in modern warfare, an armed soldier can control 1,000 civilians. So if you look at the army in Egypt is 500,000. The Egyptian population has to be 500 million to stand up to this.
And yet one pissed off suicide bomber in a line outside the recruiting station can kill 60 to 70 recruits in some place like Iraq.
Yeah, but that's not the way. This is a stupid way.
Yeah, it's not the answer. Violence is not the answer.
That's a stupid way. You have to win. To really succeed, you have to win the middle class. You can, and this is the greatest mistake of the revolutionaries in Egypt. They lost the middle class through violence and through instability and constant demonstrations for little things and big things. Everything that was done, they stood up in demonstration, and then that led to instability. And the middle class was completely alienated.
In this country, what triggered the Occupy movement was when people were thrown out of the middle class because the bosses realized that they were paying too many middle class people. The capitalists are getting to the point where they have to slim down the middle class in order to be able to raise their own pay and keep their wealth. It's a surplus population issue. So when they started throwing people out of the middle class, foreclosing houses and firing people who used to be middle class and are now poor can get explosively angry.
Yeah,
that's why you had Occupy. That's why you had parks taken over.
Not of the power. If you lose money, if you lose your positions, you don't have money. If you, unfortunately, I mean, there are laws in this world, whether we like it or not.
Let me give you an example from history. Spartacus, when his gladiators, who keep in mind were an armed force, probably superior to any Roman military unit their size because they were trained to fight in the arena. Their original objective was to fight their way north, out of Rome, cross the mountains, and disappear into barbarian territory and settle down. What screwed them was when they got to the mountains and looked at the mountain passes, they're like, hey, we've never done anything else but fight. And they decided to continue what they'd been doing instead of finish their mission and call it a victory, which is what they should. They had won their war, only to decide the only thing they knew in life was more war and go back and eventually get defeated. Had they not done that, it would go down as a victory because they had won. They had set an objective and fought for that objective and won that objective. They had beaten Rome, but then they did not choose to claim their victory and use it. They threw it out. That was victory thrown away, not a defeat.
It happened in other instances of history. It happened in the Muslim world during Hussein. I don't know if you're familiar with that history. Just the grandson of the Prophet, when he saw that the power is going back to the old oligarchs, just few years after the Prophet, then he rebelled, but he did not have the keys of power with him. So he failed. So I really sympathize with the masses, but masses have to have some plan.
Right. So I wonder if we're going to get started here or not. What's going on?
could be in this country an indigenous uprising in the works because of oil and gas extraction that is disproportionately threatening indigenous land and lifestyles. When you talk about people who have never lived by working at Walmart and paying rent, but who've had their own land that the government has been forced to let them live on, even if they call it a reservation, even if it's a concentration camp in some ways, but they don't have to pay rent, they don't have to pay mortgage, and they can hunt and fish and harvest wild crops.
Yeah, they are
And
richer
when
than
you
anyone.
poison all of that with tar sand spills and leakage from the tar sands mines, and people say they have a choice: fight or die. And there's, for people for whom working at Walmart may not be considered life, there is nothing to lose. The Lakota leaders along the route of the Keystone are saying we will be dead or in prison before this pipeline crosses our land. In Canada, occupied Canada I call it, last fall in a place called New Brunswick, the Micmac Warrior Society succeeded in driving Texas-based Southwest Energy, a gas fracking company, off their land. And you know how they did it? They made it more expensive to stay than to quit. They didn't have to be able to fight and defeat the Canadian military. They simply had to make it more expensive to stay and fight than to throw in a towel. And because this was about money, not political power, as soon as it meant that Southwest Energy would lose money by staying, they quit and they left.
Really? I didn't hear this in the
Yeah,
news.
I would argue that if you are a head of state and you have oil in your country and you're worried about invasion from the United States, what military power do you need? The power to inflict upon the United States dollar damage equivalent to the value of all your oil plus $1. If you have that, the United States will not attack you because it will not be a money-making proposition. Think about it, this kind of war, it's just an armed robbery. If the amount of money...
Yes. What's your name?
Luke,
Look, the United States did not go to war in Afghanistan or in Iraq because of their resources. They went there to loot the U.S. treasury. This is what many people don't understand.
it's an
You
unusual
see,
type of warfare.
no, this is what's happening right now in the United States. The United States go to war for the right wing to be recruited not as soldiers. The soldiers, these are poor people paid very poor salaries. It's to get the mercenaries. In Iraq, there were hundreds,
Blackwater.
if not thousands, of mercenaries. And also, and the Bechtel's and all of these countries are mercenaries. They go there, and by law, under the full agreement of the Congress, trillions of dollars have been transferred. It's the biggest transfer of wealth in the history of the United States, and the biggest transfer of wealth in the history of the world. Where $1 trillion has moved from the taxpayers to a very small class of people.
But what happens when insurgent groups, realizing what's going on with the Blackwater mercenaries, say, in war, we will disarm and release the common soldiers who are being sent here, but we will execute the mercenaries.
That's a nice idea.
Fidel used to disarm and release Batista's soldiers when he captured them, because by doing that, they would surrender at the
Thank you
drop
there,
of a
General
hat
Bear.
and quit fighting.
We're on the Global Occupy News Network. So we're getting picked up here. We're getting retransmitted, so that's a good thing, by all our different media outlets that are out there. So we're here at the Egyptian Embassy here in Washington, D.C., awaiting the beginning of our demonstration. We've got about a dozen people down here. It's light rain.
What do you do for living?
Well, lately I've been operating off of a judgment that I got for an illegal police mass arrest back in 2000. And I also have to look after my mother who's 83 years old now.
So you
Pretty much in full-time activity.
so that's good. So you have the resources, so that's
Yeah,
it's good to your
they're
family.
limited, but I'm able to do it.
Before you get that, what did you do?
Well, in the 98 and 2002 I was a flight crew. And after that, I went back to a couple of jobs for my old days and occasional sex work.
All right.
Unusual things. We have that much fun. Unlike Afghanistan, it's all independent contracting. We all work for ourselves.
So we're wondering if when things are going to get started here. I got a splitting headache, folks. I think it's going away. It's not going away. Anyway, we're awaiting the beginning of this demonstration. More and more people are filtering in. We should be started here in a few minutes. For those of you just joining us, we're down here at the Egyptian Embassy here in Washington, D.C. This is Freeman Sullivan, your live streamer. Thanks for joining us.
I do protest myself.
It's a bit of a soggy day today. The rain is steadily coming down, a light rain. It's about 55, 60 degrees, so at least it's not cold outside.
If you go there, yes, you may be arrested there.
If I have been born,
Like maybe a bit.
if I have been born, and you got to figure, suppose if you look at another country, suppose you've been born there. If I had been born in Egypt and done what I do now, he should have wanted to hang me. Therefore, I would want to hang him.
God willing, it will be hanged.
Well, he would try. You might find me a difficult target.
People just don't see how life is.
So I think we're getting ready to get started here.
Army generals! Army generals! War criminals! War criminals! Army generals! Army generals! War criminals!
I'll be over there in just a second, folks. I gotta cover up my stuff. It is raining fairly hard outside.
War criminals! Down,
Gotta keep everything dry.
down, CC! Down, CC! Free, free,
Just a second, folks.
Egyptians united will never be defeated. 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 Down, CC! Down, CC! That's the son of my neighbor. He's the son of my neighbor. Mr. Tariq, you see this man? He's the son of my neighbor. He's my cousin friend, by the way. Son of my neighbor. Yes. Bilal Ali. Bilal Ali. He was just joining the college for the first year. Down, CC!
Down, CC!
Down, military rule!
Down, military rule!
Down, military rule!
Down, military rule!
Egyptians united will never be defeated.
Egyptians united will never be defeated.
What do we want? Justice! What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Okay, I would say, what do we want? You say freedom. What do we want?
Freedom!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Freedom!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Freedom!
When do we want it?
Now!
Egyptians united will never be defeated.
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 Army generals!
Army generals!
War criminals!
War criminals!
Army generals!
Army generals!
War criminals!
War criminals!
Army generals!
Army generals!
War criminals!
War criminals!
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Military rule out the door.
Military rule out the door.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Military rule out the door.
Military rule out the door.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Military rule out the door.
Military rule out the door.
Egyptians united will never be defeated.
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 Down, down, CC.
Down, down, CC.
Down, down, CC.
Down, down, CC.
Down, down, Army General.
Down, down, Army General.
Down, down, CC.
Down, down, CC.
Down, down, Army General.
Down, down, Army General.
Army General.
Army General.
War criminals.
War criminal.
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 What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Down.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Down.
We say one time justice, another time freedom. What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Down.
What do we want?
Freedom.
When do we want it?
Down.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Down.
You know what? Today I just got a message that there is a child who is less than 18 years old. His name is Mohammed Fasih. He is being, what do you call it in المؤسسات العقابية? The childhood, huh? The juvenile delinquency. This child is being reported by his physician or by the physician of that institution, the juvenile delinquency, that he has a severe depression. He lost his appetite. His body weight is going down in a very scary way, and he's in a very bad situation because he's been detained in that juvenile institution. And Mohammed Fasih is one of hundreds of Egyptian children that they have been tortured every day. They've been electrocuted every day. Those children, when they get visited by their families, their parents, they take some food and they provide them with the food the kids they eat after the visit. And after they're done with the visit, those soldiers, the police, they brutalize them by giving them a soup, water soup, salt and water and soup, and they enforce them.
Not soup, soap.
Soap.
Sabun, soap.
Yes, the soap, they enforce them to drink it so that they can get rid of the food that they've eaten with their families.
If you eat a good meal,
So that they can enforce them to vomit whatever they eaten. And these actions, these brutal actions, been taking place every day. So down, down with the police state.
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 Down, down military rule.
Down, down military rule.
Down, down CC.
Down, down CC.
Down, down Army General.
Down, down Army General.
Down, down war criminals.
Down, down war criminals.
Down, down Army General.
Down, down Army General.
Down, down defeated.
Egyptians united will never be 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 defeated.
Shall we say it's a coup, it's a coup?
استنى خد دي.
Is everybody okay with that?
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We don't want a police state.
We don't want a police state.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Egypt wants democracy.
Egypt wants democracy.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We don't want a police state.
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 From the Nile to the sea.
From the Nile to the sea.
Egypt people will be free.
Egypt people will be free.
From the Nile to the sea.
From the Nile to the sea.
Egypt wants democracy.
Egypt wants democracy.
Brick by brick, brick by brick, wall by wall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Egypt school has to fall.
Egypt school has to fall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Egypt school has to fall.
Egypt school has to fall.
From the Nile to the sea.
From the Nile to the sea.
Egypt wants democracy.
Egypt wants democracy.
From the Nile to the sea.
From the Nile to the sea.
Egyptian people will be free.
Egyptian people will be free.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Army rule out the door.
Army rule out the door.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Army rule out the door.
Army rule out the door.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
Hey, old mama, can you see?
Hey, Obama, can you see?
Egyptians want democracy.
Egyptians want democracy.
Hey, old mama, can you see?
Hey, Obama, can you see?
Egyptian people will be free.
Egyptian people will be free.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Egypt school has to fall.
Egypt school has to fall.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Army rule out the door.
Army rule out the door.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
I want to say something really, Dr. Amin. This demonstration, what does it remind you of?
Of 2008,
There you go. And also what? 2011,
2011, yeah,
right?
after the
When we
revolution.
were united, liberals, Muslims, Christians,
We had 1,200 people.
right?
Yeah.
Now today, I think today this is a great step forward for the Egyptian revolution. And then we talk about the Egyptian revolution, we're talking about January 25, 2011 revolution.
Yes.
The revolution of the Egyptians, that they revolted against corruption, against police state, against military rule, whether it's a direct military rule or indirect military rule. So Egyptians united will never be defeated.
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 I want to thank Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and I'm very glad that I don't have to say, or I don't have to be considered unpolite citizen when I call Abdel Fattah al-Sisi without saying al-Fariq or whatever, because now his name is Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. I thank him because he's uniting, he's helping the Egyptians to be united. Egyptians united will never be defeated.
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 From the Nile to the sea,
From the Nile to the sea,
Egyptians want democracy.
Egyptians want democracy.
No more hypocrisy.
No more hypocrisy.
From the Nile to the sea,
From the Nile to the sea,
Egyptians want democracy.
Egyptians want democracy.
No more hypocrisy.
No more hypocrisy.
Hey Obama, can't you see?
Hey Obama, can you see?
Hey Obama, can't you see?
Hey Obama, can you see?
Egyptians want democracy.
Egyptians want democracy.
No more hypocrisy.
No more hypocrisy.
Hey Obama, can't you see?
Hey Obama, can you see?
Egyptians want democracy.
Egyptians want democracy.
No more hypocrisy.
No more hypocrisy.
Down, down, Sisi.
Down, down, Sisi.
Down, down, Mr. Rule.
Down, down, make the rule.
Down, down, Army General.
Down, down, Army General.
Down, down, war criminals.
Down, down, war criminals.
I heard on Thursday, not another nickel, not another dime, not another dollar for Egyptians' crime. Not another nickel, not another dime,
Not another nickel.
not another dime, not another dollar for Egyptians' crimes.
Not another dollar for Egyptians' crimes.
Not another nickel, not another dime, not another dollar for Egyptians' crime.
Not another nickel. Not another dime. Not another dollar for Egyptians' crimes.
Hey Obama, say the truth.
Hey Obama, say the truth.
Isn't it a bloody coup?
Isn't it a bloody coup?
Hey Obama, say the truth.
Hey Obama, say the truth.
Isn't it a bloody coup?
Isn't it a bloody coup?
Secretary of the State.
Secretary of the State.
We don't want a peace state. Secretary of the State.
Secretary of the State.
We don't want a peace state.
We don't want a peace state.
One, two, three, four.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Let her roll out the door.
Let her roll out the door.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Let her roll out the door.
Let her roll out the door.
Down, down, CC.
Down, down, CC.
Down, down, CC.
Down, down, CC.
Down, down, Army General.
Down, down, Army General.
Down, down, Army General.
Down, down, Army General.
Down, down, war criminal.
Down, down, war criminal.
You know, why are we saying Army Generals war criminals? Do we know that since July 3rd of 2013, that's the day when the coup was announced to depose and oust the first democratic elected civilian president. And we're not here to talk about Mohammed Morsi as a person or as an individual. We're talking about the president that was elected by the people to work for the people. So we know democracy here and everywhere in the world. That is, democracy means what? Govern the people, by the people, for the people. It's not govern the people by Sisi or by Army Generals. That's been taking place since Nasser. Whether directly governing the country or indirectly. Army Generals, war criminals, because since July 3rd, and it's documented, over 3,300 Egyptians were killed. whether police officers or army officers or civilians. Of course, majority of them from the civilians. We have seen our own eyes, the whole world have seen the massacres that have been taking place since January 25 of 2011. Do you know that the army, they have massacred the Egyptians throughout the history, the recent history of the Egyptians, under several and different reasons. If we can recall the Maspero massacre, when we had over 30 Egyptians, most of them were Christians, and they got killed and walked over by the army tanks. And those tanks and officers, they are paid and funded by the tax dollar of the Egyptians and Americans. We pay over here as Americans $1.3 billion every year to the Egyptian army. We're not against the Egyptian army. I myself served in the Egyptian army because it's an obligatory service upon every Egyptian to serve in the army. I have served in the army as a doctor of physical therapy for over a year, serving and treating Egyptian army officers and soldiers. So the army is our army. It's not Sisi's army. And that's what we're against. We're against a handful of generals to control the army and control the country for their own benefits, for the sake of their own empires of economy and businesses. It's a family business. And I suspect, and remember this, I suspect Sisi will be another one who will get imprisoned and trial. Sisi, I'm telling you, you will be imprisoned and trial. But the difference between your trial and those trials that are taking place, it's gonna be a fair and just trial. Down, down, Army General!
Down, down, Army General!
Down, down, war criminals!
Down, down, war criminals!
Down, down, CEC!
Down, down, CEC!
Down, down, Army General!
Down, down, Army General!
Down, down, war criminals!
Down, down, war criminals!
And please, stop playing that pointless game that everybody who's against the coup or the military rule is a Muslim Brotherhood. We fed up of that. Enough! Enough is enough! Down, down, Army General!
Down, down, Army General!
Down, down, war criminals!
Down, down, war criminals!
Down, down, CEC!
Down, down, CEC!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Freedom!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Freedom!
When do we want it?
Now!
From the Nile to the sea.
From the Nile to the sea!
Egyptian want democracy.
Egyptian want democracy!
No more hypocrisy.
No more democracy!
No more military rule.
No more military rule!
No more hypocrisy.
No more democracy!
No more military rule.
No more military rule!
Egyptians united will never be defeated.
Egyptians united will never be defeated!
Egyptians united will never be defeated.
Egyptians united will never be defeated!
Egyptians united will never be defeated.
Egyptians united will never be defeated!
4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Army rule out the door.
Army rule out the door.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Army rule out the door.
Army rule out the door.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Egypt school has to fall.
Egypt school has to fall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Egypt school has to fall.
Egypt school has to fall.
From the Nile to the sea.
From the Nile to the sea.
Egyptians want democracy. From the Nile to the sea.
From the Nile to the sea.
Egyptian people will be free.
Egyptian people will be free.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Army rule out the door.
Army rule out the door.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
Down, down, CC.
Down, down, CC.
Down, down, CC.
Down, down, CC.
Down, down, war criminals.
Down, down, war criminals.
Down, down, war criminals.
Down, down, war criminals.
What do you want? What do you want? Now. What do you want? When do you want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Freedom. When do we want it? Now. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Army rule out the door.
Army rule out the door.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Army rule out the door.
Army rule out the door.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
From the Nile to the sea.
From the Nile to the sea.
Egyptians want democracy.
Egyptians want democracy.
From the Nile to the sea.
From the Nile to the sea.
Egyptian people will be free.
Egyptian people will be free.
Hey Obama, can you see?
Hey Obama, can you see?
Egyptians want democracy.
Egyptians want democracy.
Hey Obama, can you see?
Hey Obama, can you see?
Egyptian people will be free.
Egyptian people will be free.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Army rule out the door.
Army rule out the door.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Egypt school has to fall.
Egypt school has to fall.
Down, down, CC.
Down, down, CC.
Down, down, CC.
Down, down, CC.
Down, down, war criminals.
Down, down, war criminals.
Down, down, war criminals.
Down, down, war criminals.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Egypt school has to fall.
Egypt school has to fall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Brick by brick, wall by wall.
Egypt school has to fall.
Egypt school has to fall.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do you want?
Freedom.
When do we want it?
Now.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Army rule out the door.
Army rule out the door.
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
Stop the killing, stop the hate.
So Dina Darwish wants to talk to us for a couple of minutes. Can you turn the recorder? And then, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to take the stream down for a second.